It's all about this woman who kind of poses as like this long lost friend, and she's there to make the wedding for whoever this long. Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey, and we're about to get very, very nerdy with July's basket of reads. So we're here for the next month's TBR. I feel like this year has just flown by. So that's a thing that's happening. But yeah, we're gonna pick out July's picks this month, kind of figure out what I'm planning on reading in July. I don't have any crazy plans. I don't really have any readathons that I'm participating in. I mean, there's a couple in the back of my head, but like not really any that I'm worried about particularly. So it's gonna be a pretty chill month, hopefully, fingers crossed. But if you guys are new and you have no idea what my basket is, I will leave linked above here the first of the year where I go over the basket, the rules, that kind of thing. But we're gonna pick some prompts out of here and see what I have to read in July. But before we do that, let's take a look at last month. So here's a look at the books that we picked for last month. So we have the Jane Austen Marriage Manual, which was the lowest on Goodreads, Malice by Heather Walter, which was for a tagline, A Witch Hat Atelier by Kamome Shirahama, I still don't know how to pronounce that, that was for a paperback. We have Seduction of a Highland Lass by Maya Banks, and that was for historical fiction. We have Come Tumbling Down by Shauna Maguire, which was a buddy read. A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, which was to read a book in a series. Intercepted by Alexa Martin, which was to read a gifted book. Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert, which was to read a book with a POC rep or a POC author. And then The Evil Queen by Jenna Showalter, which was to read a book that I'd purchased in the last 5 years, or had come out in the last 5 years. As of filming this, these are the two that I have not yet finished. However, I still have about a week left in the month, as I usually do when I film these, and I am very close to the end of Malice, so I will definitely finish that. However, I have not started the Jane Austen Marriage Manual, and I don't see myself picking it up in the next month. Honestly, I had no time in this month where I felt like I wanted to pick this book up, so honestly, we're just gonna unhaul it, and I'm not gonna worry about it, and we're gonna take a punishment pick this month. But yeah, that's kind of a look at last month. Let's get into this month's first pick. Pick number 1. Oop, here we go. Oop, read a standalone. The first prompt was to read a standalone, and I really want to get this on here because I want to read it next month, and I'm so excited about it. And that is The Secret Bridesmaid by Katie Burchell. This follows our main character, Sophie, who poses as the secret bridesmaid. And basically that means that she's hired by the bride or the bride's mother or somebody in the party to pose as like this long-lost friend that no one really knows about. And she's there to kind of keep the peace, kind of acting a little bit as a wedding planner, event planner, just the tiniest bit, just to make sure that everything for the wedding goes smoothly. Now, in this situation, she is hired by the mother of the bride, and the bride is a diva and is doing everything in her power to make Sophie's life miserable. It also doesn't help that Sophie seems to be falling for the posh older brother of said bride. So it sounds like it's going to be super fun. I heard about this from Madison May, who is channel's name is Princess of Paperback. I'm sure many people know of her. I started talking about this one recently and it sounded incredible, and I saw it and I said I need that. So this is going to be my standalone. I'm very excited. Pick number 2. Here we go. Alright, read a book that was released last year. The next is to read a book that was published last year, aka 2020. I'm going to pick up one of my buddy reads this month, and that is Across the Green Grass Fields by Shauna Maguire. This is the most recent one in her Wayward Children series. I've been buddy reading this with my lovely friend Teresa. I will leave her channel linked down below. And we've kind of come to the end, and I'm really sad about it. Like, there's going to be more books in this series. There's at least 3 more planned, like, coming out, one each consecutive year in the future, but that's it for now. So we'll have other things to buddy read together, but this is the end of this story, and I'm a little sad. It's not the end, it's just the end for now. But I don't actually know a whole lot about this one. I believe we follow one of the characters in their world and not like one of the adventure stories that revolves around the people at the actual House of Wayward Children. So this follows Reagan, and she goes to this kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it, but like there's centaurs and kelpies and magical creatures in this world, and it seems very, very fun. I don't know what we're gonna get into because I don't remember the character of Reagan. I'm not sure if that's someone we've already met. It might be, who knows. But I don't remember. I also feel like this is, if I remember correctly, this is a good standalone. So if you want to try out this series and no other books sound interesting to you, this apparently is a good standalone in this world. So I'm excited. Number 3. Right, read a book with nature on the cover. We got that one recently. The next one is to read a book with nature on the cover. So I am going to be using a book that I'm using for Secret TBR. And also one that I've just been really, really excited to read. I feel like I'm going to enjoy it. I just finished Akatar, and I feel like while this is nowhere near that, I'm getting similar vibes from it, so I feel like I'm going to enjoy that. And that is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kimmerer. Now this is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, but it's like it seems almost Portal Fantasy-esque, because I feel like where the Beast lives is like a totally different world. Now I've heard really good things about this. I know this is the first in a trilogy. I've heard that either you absolutely love this series or you cannot stand the series. I'm very excited to see where I fall in this. Yeah, but it's got nature all over the cover, as you can see, with the thorns and the branches and all that fun stuff. But I'm very excited about it, so we're gonna give it a try. Number 4. Here we go. Read a book that you bought new. Had to think about that for a second. The next is a book that you bought new. Now, this is maybe stretching it the tiniest bit, because technically I did buy it new, but it came in a subscription box, so I bought the box and it came with it. So I'm going to say I bought it new, and that is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. This is one of the books on one of my lists to read by the end of the year, and it sounds really, really good. I saw G from Book Roast read this recently, and she had mixed feelings about it, but she ended up really enjoying it, and I am hesitant going into this just because I feel like lately with YA, I am leaning more towards adult books, just kind of like that's the mood I'm in right now. So I'm a little hesitant going into this kind of YA book, but it's about a girl, kind of Mulan-esque, hiding in disguise to go be part of this fashion competition, I guess is the best way to describe it. And it's been out for quite a while. So we follow our main character, Maya, I think is how you pronounce it, and her father is a tailor, but he's really, really, I think, either old or very ill, and so he is asked to be part of this competition for the royal family, and so she goes in disguise to be part of this competition. So I'm very excited to see kind of, I believe this is a fantasy book, so I'm very excited to see how that kind of fantastical elements play into the actual like tailoring of clothes. I don't know, it sounds really fascinating. I got this from an Owl Crate, so it's this fun little Owl Crate edition. So I did buy the Owl Crate box, so I'm gonna count this as new because it was a brand new book when I got it. And yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm hesitant, but I'm excited. Number 5. Here we go. Oh, Goodreads TBR. The next one is Goodreads TBR, which basically just means I'm going to pull up a random number generator here on my phone, on my computer, and we're going to, whatever number it comes up with, I'm going to go to my to be read kind of list on Goodreads, and whatever comes up, we're going to read. We'll see, I might have to buy a new book. But it looks like there are 370 books on this Goodreads TBR. I just narrowed it down the other day, so like, stellar. So I'll put my little screen recording here so you guys can see what I'm doing. But let's see, let's generate and see what we get. 161. Can I switch this around? Okay, so let's take a scroll, shall we? What did I say, 161? Well, it's gonna be far down. That means either I own it or I have no idea. I don't know what this could be. I'm nervous and excited all at the same one. 161. Oh man, I was gonna read this month anyway. That's perfect. Okay, so it's The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This is I love this UK edition. I'm so excited about it. This one I'm very hesitantly going into because I've heard it's nothing like her other books. Now, I've only read one book by V.E. Schwab, and I didn't particularly love it. It was A Darker Shade of Magic. I don't know if it's just like the hype got to me. I don't know what happened, but I didn't really love that book. It just kind of like dragged for me, and so I'm hesitant to go into this one. I'm afraid this is gonna break me, is really what the problem is. But I'm sure many people know about this because it's like a super hyped book. So it follows Addie, who has made this kind of deal with the devil almost, where she will live forever, but no one's going to remember her. So it's kind of this, I don't even know how to explain it. I've heard people say that like she can walk through snow, but then her like footprints will disappear because it can't remember her. But she goes into a bookstore one day and the clerk remembers her. And so it's like a big thing because no one's supposed to remember her. But I think there's going to be a lot of themes of loneliness in this book because no one knows her. But yeah, so I'm very hesitant about this book, but I'm also excited to give it a shot and see what happens. So yeah, that's my pick. Number 6. Oh, got like 10 there. Let's see. Oh, read a 5-star prediction. So the next one is to read a 5-star prediction, which is perfect because I have one book left on my 5-star prediction video that I did, I think at the beginning of last year. It's been a while. So we need to wrap that video up and create new ones. But there's one left, and that is this one, which is Bygone Badass Broads by Mackenzie Lee, 52 Forgotten Women Who Changed the World. And it's illustrated by Petra Erickson. Now these pictures are so pretty, but I am very excited about this. I think this will be a good one to just kind of like dip in and out of because it's basically like mini biographies on people, and then they're so pretty. But I've heard mixed things about this just because this came out like a long time ago, and I don't know, I've liked her writing in the past. Now I know she's been a questionable person lately, so we'll see if we continue with her, but I'm still going to give this a shot just because it is a non-fiction book, and I'm interested to see and learn about some women that I might not have known before. But I'm obsessed with like the art in this book, and I will read it for the art purely. Anyway, so yeah, that is my 5-star prediction. We'll see. We'll see if it's 5 stars. Stay tuned. Number 7. There we go. Oh. All right. Read a book with a light cover. The next one is to read a book with a light cover, and I'm going to pick up Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. Now this is the 3rd and final of the Brown Sisters series. I freaking loved the first 2. I'm so excited to get on with the last one in the series. I'm sad that it's the last one in the series, but I love Talia Hibbert's writing, so I'm going to just continue to like read her stuff, and I'll probably reread these at some point. But I've loved the last 2. I'm excited to see this one. We follow Eve Brown, and she has been told to get a life, basically, or I think she's going to get cut off by her parents. And so she goes and finds like an Airbnb because she really likes to bake and cook, and so she kind of becomes the chef, if you will, of this Airbnb. I think the guy who owns the Airbnb really doesn't like her at first, so hate to love. I'm very excited about this. I'm also excited because like there's music on the cover, and I want to know what that has to do with anything. So I don't know. I'm excited because I've loved everything that I've read by this author, and I cannot wait to continue. It's gonna be great. Number 8. Ooh, here we go. All right, a book out of my comfort zone. All right, the next one is to read a book out of your comfort zone. So I'm going to pick up The One by John Mars. Now this is a thriller I'm not quite sure it's a horror all the way, but it's definitely a mystery thriller kind of book. And I am very iffy with thrillers because I'm a scaredy cat. That's really the reasoning. But this takes place in a world where there is a new DNA test, and this DNA test can basically tell you, if you take it, who your soulmate is. And so this follows a bunch of different people who take said test. Now some of them are with their soulmates, some of them are not with their soulmates. I think one of them is a serial killer. I've heard incredible things about this. I don't know what it is, but this idea fascinates me. So we're gonna give this a shot and maybe not read this before bed. Maybe. But I picked this one up recently in my ACOTAR vlog, actually, when I went to go buy the rest of that series. This one just stuck out to me. I really like the cover. I think it's fascinating, you know, minus the blood drip right there. But, like, the color is really interesting, and it's just won't leave me alone. Like, I need to know. So, we're gonna pick this one up because it's way, way out of my comfort zone. So we'll see what happens with that one. And finally, number 9, my punishment pick of the month. Okay, let's try that a little bit again. There we go. And it shall be... Oh, read a book you put on pause. And the very, very last one, which was my punishment pick, which was to read a book that I had recently put on pause, which is perfect because I kind of put this on pause for June, and I really wanted to pick this one up in July, and that is The Girl Who Speaks Bear by Sophie Anderson. I read this, I think it was on my May TBR. I read 184 pages of this book, and I loved this book. I loved what I was reading. I loved it way more than House of the Chicken Legs. I thought it was fascinating, and I just had to put it on pause because I was taking part in a readathon in June and I just didn't have time with all of the ridiculous plans that I had for June. So I'm gonna pick this one up again in July. I'm very excited about it. So hopefully I won't take a punishment for it this time because I'm already ahead. I've only got about half of a book to go, and it's a middle grade, and there's like these stunning illustrations that are full pages as well, and there's like kind of mythology and folk tales set in between them, which is very interesting. It always has to go with the story, but I remember the first half really, really well. Nothing has been forgotten, so I'm really excited to dive back into this one, and hopefully I will actually finish it this time, because I want to. I didn't put it on pause because I wasn't enjoying it. I put it on pause because my life needed me to put it on pause, but I need to know what's going to happen. So that's my book. Alright, so this is a look at my TBR for July. It's very blue now that I'm looking at it. I also have a Maya Banks buddy read that I'm doing in July, although as of recording this, we haven't picked a book yet, so I don't know what it is. So if I know before this video comes out, I'll plop it here. But I also have that book to read with this. That's kind of a look at my TBR for July. I hope that you enjoyed. Seemed like the TBR basket was pretty nice to me this month, which makes me think that next month will be very different. But I hope that you enjoyed. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I mentioned in this video. Let me know what you're planning on reading in July. Are there any readathons you're taking part in? Tell me your lovely reading plans. If you liked this video, and I very much hope that you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you want to be part of this awesome and growing family. I've also got all my social media down there, as well as other fun bookish links, so don't forget to go check all of those out, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!